What is up, everybody? We are back with some Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and I'm going to be touching on a very hot button topic right now, and that is the second anniversary. Now, I've already made a couple videos about the second anniversary, and there's been lots of opinions shared, overwhelmingly towards the negative side about the event. So I kind of want to talk about what went wrong with this anniversary. And I don't want to just focus on what went wrong, but how could it be made right, or how could it have been made right, and and then the things that did go right. I kind of want to talk about all those things there. So anyway, if you guys are new to the channel and you do like what you see, hit that subscribe button, follow along with what we do here, hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts, and let's talk about it. So again, what went wrong? The anniversary hit. We were super amped for it based on what we saw, and it didn't hit a home run there. So looking ahead at this, one of the things I look at that went wrong is, where are the crystals? Right? Where are the blue crystals at? You look at the first anniversary, the half anniversary, the first anniversary, the 1.5 anniversary. We were given login bonuses every day for I think it was almost like 2 weeks. Maybe it was just 9 days or something like that. Anyway, but we were given login bonus crystals. I think it was like 1,500 a day or something like that. And that happened for a few days or a few sets of 3 days in a row, which again, nice, a very nice thing. There was the initial, hey, second anniversary. Here's just a some as well on top of it. It was just a straight, one-time login for it. That was awesome. We hit this one. We got, what was it, 5,000 crystals, I think, from the live stream they did. And that was it. Every other blue crystal we've, quote-unquote, gotten from this anniversary has been earned through completing different parts of the events in the anniversary itself. Not even the panel missions gave us blue crystals. You look at step 1, it was mithril ore, mithril ingot, the anniversary voucher, mithril ingots, mithril ore wallpaper, mithril ore, mithril ingot, and memoria. None of those granted us blue crystals. It's been very stingy with that. And again, for this supposed to be a big a big event, and especially, this is where typically our power creep happens. If you're wanting us to pull on these banners, you gotta give us something to pull with. Yes, this is a game that's supposed to be making money. I understand that, and I'm not saying that the entire thing should be free. But you also have to acknowledge that not everybody's going to spend. So you gotta kind of help out there. So how could that have been made better? Obviously giving us some login bonuses. Just, a couple days, 3 days at 1,500 crystals. I mean, that gives you 4,500 crystals right there. That's a pull and a half. Alright, you can do one the first week, one the second week like that. Right there is 3 pulls. Okay, that'd have been a really good thing to do. Yes, the login, or the crystals for the live stream were good, but that can't be the only way to celebrate that. Speaking of celebrating, that's going to bring me to my point 2 here. Where's the celebration? This is the second year this game has now, existed. A lot of gacha games fizzle out before the first year. Some make it just to the first year and then fizzle out after that. So for this to have gone on for 2 years, that's a really good, in theory, a good sign. Now, again, this game has had some stumbles, whether we look at when we had to do the strike, if you will, when they had all the limited banners back to back, and they responded to that. Overall, they've done a fairly good job with the game. Again, not been perfect, but they've overall done a fairly good job with the game. This is another one of these big stumbles, unfortunately. But like I said, there's no celebration. We had the countdown to it, which again made me really kind of hyped for what was coming. Every day, for, was it 6 days, they had a countdown. What happened in these 2 months? What happened in these 2 months? What happened in these 2 months? Building us up for this big anniversary event, and then here it is. The best way to equate that would be like, your birthday's coming up, right? And, your parents are like, hey, 5 more days to your birthday. There's 5 more days to your birthday. You're excited? 4 more days to your birthday. 3 more days to your birthday. And the day before, tomorrow's your birthday. Are you super amped for it? Yeah. And then the day your birthday comes and they just walk in, they give you a card, happy birthday, and walk away. What was the point of building all this up to just go, hey, happy birthday, bye. Happy 2nd anniversary, guys, see ya. That's kind of what I felt like what happened here. Even if you look at the login screen, so if I go back to the login screen here, the title screen, when we look at that, for the anniversaries, it was, like this big splash thing for it and really focus on the anniversary, and it was, celebratory, right? And yes, it does acknowledge that there's an anniversary here, but when we look at it, there's nothing splashy about this. This is really just done in the Advent Children style. What about this other than, if they took the word 2nd anniversary away from right here, what about this screams we're in an anniversary right now? Nothing. So they could have done something there just to make it more lively. Again, make it out of context, if you will. It's okay. Something like this is allowed to be, like wall breaking, if you will. Put in balloons and confetti and all that stuff. It's cheesy. Who cares? It's a celebration, right? Even looking at this right here, the little noticing for it, this at least looks festive. Like the sparkles and the glitter and all that stuff. I mean, that for a splash or for a title screen would look so much better. So again, like I said, guys, I know I'm focused on some of the negative things here, but I really am trying to talk about how it could have been, what could have been done to make it better, and not just focus on the complaining side of things. I do want to, kind of look at, how it could be improved, or find the, find the silver linings in the things that did happen. Okay, so please understand that, while yes, you're going to be hearing some negative things here, I am trying to be constructive about it. So, on the topic of the celebration, like I said, that was done in the Advent Children style. So what is our celebratory event? Is it, something that our characters kind of get thrust into, like we saw, where they get, dumped into the portal? That's been this whole story, by the way, this whole time. Every one of these big events we've had, whether it's like a crossover event or the anniversary events, we have this portal that comes in and it sucks our characters away into a far-off land or something like that, which is what allows it to be not in the universe and to be a little goofy and a little silly. Like when we look at the Christmas events and things like that, it's been allowed for stuff like that. What's our event? It's Advent Children, which I don't have a problem with them bringing Advent Children to the game, because, again, that's something that they're supposed to be eventually doing. When we look at the story mode, one of the things... Oops, wrong thing. One of the things that they're supposed to be doing is bringing in all of those things here. Final Fantasy VII, Crisis Core, First Soldier, we had First Soldier Episode 2, Advent Children, Before Crisis, Dirge of Cerberus. These should all be making an appearance here eventually. And that's great, that's perfect, that's awesome. But if that's supposed to be happening, and we're going to be getting Advent Children as part of the story, or at least we're supposed to be, why did we get it as the event? Because this isn't even our characters are stepping into Advent Children, which is kind of, they already do anyways because they're actually a part of that story, so it's not like they can do with the crossovers where they don't belong in that world. There's nothing made for the purpose of the anniversary. It's literally just the Advent Children's story. There's nothing original with that, and that's kind of a bummer because of that. I enjoy that. I enjoy the story parts. The Final Fantasy VII, the Crisis Core, the First Soldier stories. I enjoy those stories as for what they are as part of the story. These things are just supposed to be for the fun, right? You know, the crossover things and the things that happen there, like, you know, we think about the Dragon Quest tact and all that stuff. It's supposed to be like a fourth wall breaking thing, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But this, and you know, they even call it the Ever Crisis edition, and I really don't know why, because when we look at the story itself, you literally are just watching snippets of the movie. It wasn't even done in the Ever Crisis style, like that chibi style, if you will. I mean, that at least, even though it would have been stepping on the toes of when they put it into the story, would have at least made it more, for me, enjoyable, because it looked like some work. It looks like some work would have been put into it. The battles are mostly against Bahamut Sin. Where are the shadow beasts they fight? Where is Kadaj and his brothers? You know, where are all these characters at? And we fight Sephiroth for 2 or 3 battles as well, which, I mean, in theory is who Kadaj turns into, but it just doesn't fit, again, an anniversary thing. I have no problem with them adding in Advent Children for the anniversary, but that should have been added in here. That should have been in the story. Don't give us the whole thing. Again, make it episodic like we do all these. Make it in that chibi style like we've done all of these. And then give us an original event for the anniversary. That could have and would have made this so much more enjoyable. Because if I'm going to be honest, I don't feel like much work was put into this. I mean, like I said, literally, they have just cut portions of the video and put it in here. I mean, hell, I could have done that. I could have thrown my, you know, my DVD of this, or my Blu-ray of this, into a... Sorry, this music's a little louder. Let me go back to the main screen. I could have thrown that into my computer, ripped the video, chopped it up into chapters, and shotgunned those out the same as they did. You know, they've already got their characters built into their engine. All they had to do was slap the costumes on them to do what they needed to do for looks-wise. So even then, so not only do we not get the original story, the story they give us was also very, very lazily done. Maybe there's a reason for that. I would need to see a very good reason for that. You know, again, if I could see into the future and see, okay, they did this to set up XYZ, and XYZ is super fun and awesome and makes the game enjoyable, then I could accept that's what happened here. I still wouldn't be happy that that's what happened here, but I could at least accept it. I'm just, like I said, I'm at a loss as to why it was very kind of just lazily done. Like I said, that's just, it's a huge bummer. It really, really is. By the way, this is kind of another complaint. This isn't just about the Advent Children, you know, second anniversary thing. Can we go back to combining stories in the event battles and all that stuff? I hate that they're two separate things. I like seeing how the battles intertwine with what's happening in the events. Or in the story. That was so much more enjoyable instead of just, you know, oh, I can just have all the stories there, I have all the battles here. Put them all together. Right, they should go together. Again, it's part of the storytelling experience, and that's what should make it enjoyable. So, if I go, kind of jumping back to panel missions, I kind of spoke on these earlier. Outside of the panel missions, which, by the way, so it's listed as second anniversary here, but you don't see anything really in here outside of that. And the free draws, there's nothing mentioned here that says second anniversary. There's nothing. Nothing here screams second anniversary. Nothing here screams second anniversary, save when these things loop around. The panel missions, we only know their second anniversary because it legitimately just says it right here. And then when we go to the draw screen, we get second anniversary. Even the limit break banners for this are not second anniversary banners. They're just limit break draw banners. So again, this kind of ties back into the celebration side of things. Just where's the celebration for the second anniversary? Okay, and it's so confusing. Speaking of draw banners, this is another big complaint. We put not only 2 characters with limited weapons into one draw banner, but we also made 3 weapons be featured, plus an ultimate weapon. And if that's not bad enough, the next banner is going to have 3 characters on it, so I'm assuming also 3 featured weapons, 1 for each. This is supposed to last a freaking month. This anniversary is going to last a month. They almost always do. I mean, if we go to the event screen, we can see that. 43 days. I mean, so it ends October 22nd. Why, if this is ending October 22nd, are we just putting this into 2 banners? Unless they got some surprise banners they're not telling us about, that again might even annoy people even further, because you've given us something to draw on, because these are the anniversary banners. If you're going to spring 2 or more additional banners after that, I think it's going to tick people off even more. These really should have been broken apart into 4 banners. Cloud should have been 1 banner. Sephiroth should have been his own banner. Tifa could have been her own banner, and then Yuffie should have been a banner. Maybe put adult Sephiroth and young Sephiroth together, I guess. Especially considering how little adult Sephiroth has, or OG Sephiroth, or however you want to refer to him, original Sephiroth. Considering the fact he only has, the 5 weapons, including the feature weapons. Yeah, 5. Tag him onto the young Sephiroth one. That would at least make sense. But this again just doesn't look good in this degree. Breaking it up would have made this so much better. It's almost like they forgot about what happened with the last Limit Break banner set. Because, by the way, while yes, these have been around for a little bit, especially the Lucia one, it got extended. The fact we have 3 Limit Break banners sitting here and they released nowhere near each other is kind of telling. So, I don't know. I think that really should have been broken up. And again, make it its own special banner thing up here, 2nd anniversary. Something to, again, make it promote what's going on. Speaking of adult Sephiroth, he has his own little battle quest things here, which is going to last for 5,591 more days as of the recording of this video. What are these banners? They are basically, or I shouldn't say basically, they are these, where are they at? Trading quests? Not trading quests. Hang on. One of these has it. It's not in the premium quest, is it? Yeah, they're basically the premium quest where you get like these type of items. Why was not one added for him in here? I get that you want people to be able to level him up and use him faster, but there's zero reason he should not have his own thing in there too. And are we really going to see this icon sit on our screen for 5,591 more days? Because again, I did the math when this first dropped. I mean, that's another 15 years. Is this, if the game were to last that long, is this legitimately going to stay here for 15 years? It's just so odd that this was done like this. I don't know. Again, I just find that very, very, very weird. And again, I partially understand that, again, part of that was because, like I said, they're trying to get Sephiroth leveled up and to get you to be able to use his growth stream and all that kind of stuff, which, with only being able to do 1 premium quest a day, you would not have been able to get him anywhere close to viable anytime soon. But that should not last as long as it is. Make that last as long as the anniversary and give him his special ones in with everybody else on the premium quest. Alright, next thing. Almost all the quote-unquote prizes were earned and not given as a celebration. Really, the only thing we've truly been given as part of the true anniversary, again, I'm not counting the live stream, the only thing we've been truly given are the weapons. We're getting those OB6 weapons. Where was that at? Maybe it was in the anniversary overview. Somewhere in here it talks about, we were given weapons. Each character is getting 2 weapons at OB6. I mean, that's fine. Not sure if I've passed it or what. There it is. Yeah, we're getting 30 6-star weapons. Basically 2 for each character. That's being given to us. Awesome. But outside of that, we got we're getting this. We got, this week we get 10 mithril ingot. We got the, second anniversary lottery boxes ×3, which can have basically any of these draw tickets in there. And we're getting 10 of the Mako gems. That says every week. So that's going to last through October 4th. So for a month. So we're basically getting this ×4. Again, nothing woohoo for a second anniversary. Again, that could have been handled so much better. In a way that would have made us feel like, this is a celebration. I keep going back to that, but that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a celebration. When we look at the free weapons, by the way, these are really super beneficial to new players. Those that have been around for a while, most of us already have these weapons basically maxed out or fairly maxed out tonight. So, we're getting these, and again, like I got the Masamune, cool. I was already OB10 plus 2 or 3. This does nothing for me. So I get what they did. I think this was a good idea in theory, but again, with this being the only free thing we got, it didn't really, it's only helping a very, it's only helping a certain portion of the community. For those of us who have been around for the 2 years, it doesn't really help us as much. Yes, I had a couple weapons that were maybe OB4, OB7, that weren't fully maxed out yet, that this was going to be able to get them to be maxed out. But it honestly, not as many as we're getting. Most of mine are not going to benefit from this at all. So again, good idea, but it's not something that's going to benefit the entire player base. When we're doing stuff like this for a celebration for this anniversary, what we're given should be able to benefit the entire player base. Again, this is where we go back to where are the blue crystals at? Yeah, about the biggest positive I got for this anniversary, and again, some of this is somewhat of a hot take because I know some people are not happy about this. And again, I don't really count this as part of the anniversary because it's not labeled this way. This Trial of the Summons, I'm happy we're getting a physical and magic thing. I like the idea of having to build a physical and a magic team. I know some people are not about that. They want just the one and be done with it, which again, I can understand, I appreciate. But I like the thought of having to, have separate teams and be a little bit more strategic about my pulls, where I can't just build up a physical team and only have physical and just worry about physical only or magic or whatever. This allows me to, really think about, what do I need versus what do I not need. And in theory could allow certain characters to be useful in other regards. This is a physical, lightning character. This is a magic lightning character. You got to build both of them in order to take them into the different battles. I think it's a great idea, and it's a great way to utilize characters that are not really don't get shown as much love in theory. But again, it has to be handled that way by Applebot, where they're taking care of characters on both fronts like that. So again, while I appreciate this, again, I really don't call this, second anniversary celebration here. This is something I like, at least that they added in. The other thing that I do like, and again, second anniversary is the addition of new power creep and new mechanics. Memoria. I think this is a good thing. I like this. This is something that can be expanded upon as we move further into the game. We've only gotten the 2 so far. We got the Memoria of Second Anniversary and then Memoria of Bahamut Sin. They do different things, depending on, what it is. So like if I'm going for magic right now, I'd probably want to take the Second Anniversary as it offers more magic attack than the Bahamut Sin one does. And then they also have different abilities. Whereas this one increases max ATB and physical and magic ability potency up. If I'm going into an ice battle, this one could be more useful because it will increase my ice potency. It does the max ATB and does the physical and ability and magic ability to summons by 20%. Again, I think this is a great addition, and I think this was a good thing to add in for the second anniversary. Again, being a new mechanic. I think they did a good job with this, as long as it's going to be handled properly moving forward from here. That was fine. Boosting the level cap to 100, I think we got there way too fast. They bumped us up super quick at the very beginning of the game. I think it was like within the first 6 months. We just got level cap break after level cap break after level cap break. I think this should have stopped at 99. Because if you look at Final Fantasy games, traditionally we stop at level 99. And again, this is fine to have done to give us a level cap break at an anniversary because it's a big event. But I think it should have stopped at 99, not go to 100. So that would have helped. So again, those are the things that we got that I could talk about for the second anniversary. I mean, obviously there's things that we didn't get, or all like my wishes and wants that we did not get, that I think would have been made the second anniversary better. I'll link that video. I'll tag it at the end as one of the title cards that'll pop up if you kind of want to see what I was hoping for with the second anniversary. Hopefully those are things that are going to come in down the road, because like I said, I really do think those are things that could potentially benefit the game. I know a lot of people are talking, is this end of service? I mean, some people have been crying end of service since basically the game launched. Here's the thing, I don't want the game to fail. I do enjoy the game in general. I don't enjoy it as much as I used to. I don't want the game to fail. They've made some bad decisions, and they need to fix those decisions. I want to see those decisions fixed so the game will thrive and succeed. And part of the other reason I think it's kind of not done as well with some of these decisions, like when we look at the limit break banners, and I mentioned this in a comment to somebody else in one of my second anniversary videos, is the fact that they handle this game on a global scale. And when you look at like the Asian market, they are huge into the whole gacha system. And we don't. Like here in the US, we don't thrive on the gacha system. I mean, some do. You got your whales, of course, but we don't put in nearly as much money as you look at like the Japanese market. So you can't really market this game like you're just marketing it in Japan. You can't. So I hope they kind of take that into account as they're deciding how to move forward. But anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on what went wrong with the anniversary, and some of my thoughts of how that could have potentially been made better, what would have been a better decision for it. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Do you agree with my points? Do you disagree with my points? Are there things that I didn't bring up that you think would have made a better choice? So yeah, let's start that conversation down below. Let's keep it civil. Like I said, I know a lot of people are kind of ticked off right now and are kind of on tilt, with some high emotions on this. So let's keep it civil. Discussion is fine, but you know, again, the point of a discussion is to talk back and forth, not just throw up your shield and say this is my side. You know, I don't want to hear anything else. So that's the point of a discussion. So we're calling it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, if you are new to the channel and you do like what you see, hit the subscribe button and follow along with what we do here. Hit that like button, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.